Each year, many of us make financial New Year's resolutions with the hope that we'll manage our money and finances better in the year ahead.
But those resolutions don't work unless you have a plan and take action. Joining us now for her insights and advice on how to achieve your financial goals this year is Marissa Schultz, Director of Rise High Financial Solutions. Marissa, great to see you as always. Happy New Year. Tell us, how do you create a financial plan?
Absolutely. I mean, January is a great time to review the year that's gone and see what's gone well and what hasn't, and look to the future and decide what you want to achieve in the coming year. And I think that, you know, many of us do make grand New Year's resolutions that we hope to stick to throughout the year, and often they can include some financial goals that we hope to achieve. And I think it's so important to have a plan, but it's really important to have really great clarity on exactly what it is that you want when it comes to your finances, and really be quite specific about those goals and make sure that they are measurable and that there is a due date, time that you want to achieve them by, so that you do have something very, very specific that you're going for, and you really have some really defined clarity around what it is that you want when it comes to your finances.
Marissa, making a plan is relatively easy, but how does the average Joe at home, how do they stick to the plan and actually act upon it?
Absolutely. Well, this is the important part, obviously. It's great to have a goal, but actually sticking to it and achieving it is what it's all about. So I recommend, not only having clarity around what it is that you want, but it's also really important to really deeply understand why it is that you want that. Because often, as we're going for a specific goal in our life, finances included, it can be very easy to get distracted and get taken off course. So it's really important that we keep reminding ourselves and bringing ourselves back to why exactly it is that we want that goal, to try and keep us motivated to achieve that goal. I also like to break the goal down into achievable steps on a daily basis. So it's about taking daily action. So if your big goal is to get rid of some unwanted debt, pay off a credit card, or save for a holiday, or maybe it's buy your first investment property, all of those things are quite big goals. What we need to do is we need to break them down to a daily task that's quite achievable, quite manageable, quite measurable. And I also encourage you to look for a money mentor or someone that's going to hold you accountable to achieving that daily task, and checking in with you weekly or monthly to make sure that you stay on track. If we take the actions every day, the small steps every single day, then at the end of the year you'll find that you will get what you wanted to achieve.
Couldn't agree more with you.
Now we've got just coming up on the screen there's some great tips with you. You are a successful property investor and a mortgage broker, which is a great pendulum that swings both ways for you. What are these 5 steps for financial success in 2019?
Absolutely. Well, I think the first one is to have a plan and make a plan, which we've already discussed. I think the second one is to really pay yourself first. And that's all about making sure that you're prioritising yourself and your future, and making sure that you're allocating a percentage of your income towards what's really important, and that is, investing for your future and emergencies, but also the goal that you've created. I also, step number 3, I think it's really important that you review your debts and pay down the bad debts as quickly as you can. So that includes things like your credit cards and your personal loans, but also making sure that you're reviewing your mortgages, because interest rates are constantly changing, and it's really important to make sure that you're actually getting the best rate. So it's really important to review those things. Fourthly, I do encourage everyone to look to invest for your future. Often as Australians, we forget to plan long term.
A little bit she'll be right, mate attitude, isn't it?
She'll be right, exactly. That's right. And the reality is retirement hits us a lot sooner than we think. And a lot of us have expectations of what our lifestyle will be at that point in time, but we haven't adequately planned for that, though, to meet those expectations. So I think it's never too early to start investing for your future, and that's a really big point. And as I said earlier, one of the biggest tips, I think, is to get a money mentor, and that might be, a friend, your partner, it might be your mortgage broker, your financial planner, someone that is actually that you're going to confide in about what it is that you want in your life and how you want to manage your money, and that person can actually help hold you accountable so that you're more likely to get to where you want to get to.
Marissa, for normal people at home, it's fair to say some people would struggle doing a financial plan. They don't have the knowledge. We don't learn this sort of stuff at school. So can they have a crack at it themselves, or do you recommend getting professional advice to do that plan?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think it's really important just to start simple. You know, a financial plan doesn't have to be a big, overwhelming thing. I think the first thing is just to gain clarity on, you know, what are the things in your life that you want to change in relation to how you manage your money. And often these things are quite simple things. It may be, you know, you want to stop living from week to week and you want to actually have some savings in the bank. Or you actually want to, you know, like I said, save for a holiday or save for a car, or maybe you're going to buy your first home this year. So I would be looking at your, you know, your one or two big things that you'd like to achieve. And then I think it is good to actually find the experts that are going to be able to help you to achieve that goal. For example, you know, if you are going to aim to buy your first house this year, or you do want to get on top of some debts, you know, a mortgage broker might be the right person to speak to, just to say, okay, well, this is really what I want. Can you help me to get to that goal? So it doesn't have to be a big, scary, overwhelming thing. Often the goals that scare and excite us a little bit are the best goals to go for, and it is something that you can. But it is good to also get some help along the way. So you're not in it alone. You do have a helping hand, but it's not something that you should get overwhelmed with. Just look at the 1 to 2 things that are really important to you, the highest priority. Get someone that can help you to achieve those things, and help them, or get them to help you to develop a daily action plan that you can achieve to get you on track for those goals.
I think what you said there is, you know, baby steps are absolutely key. But I also think what you've also mentioned is very important to get outside of your own comfort zone as well. Set those goals that are a little bit more challenging to get you where you want to be.
Absolutely, you know, and sometimes that can mean making some drastic changes to the way that you spend your money and the way that you manage your money. You know, often many people, you know, when they are making financial goals, they really want to start taking more control of how they're spending their money. You know, they want to be in control of what their money is doing, rather than feeling like their money is just going and they don't know where it's going. So it's really important to take the action, but also make sure that they're getting the right support on the side to achieve those goals.
I really like the step 2, the pay yourself first, because sometimes we feel like, I don't know, we're just working so hard and not really doing all the little things that we like, and then we sort of end up probably going overkill and doing it for ourselves. But, you know, with my kids, I taught them, you know, you get so much pocket money a week. If you spend a little bit each week and save the rest, you'll end up with a great lump of money. You've got this broken down into percentages that you suggest. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that paying yourself first is the number one thing that anyone can do to improve their financial position. And we all have the ability to do this, but not many of us do. So my theory about paying yourself first is really about prioritising your family, your life, your future above all other expenses. So often what Australians do typically is they pay all their bills and then they spend whatever's left over in their account. So paying yourself first is really a concept of actually deciding what percentage of your income is for you and your future, and actually allocating that percentage to a separate account that you can't touch, or that you're not going to touch, before you pay any of your other expenses and enjoy your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So that basically, you know, it might mean that you, I like to sort of suggest that people have a separate account for their future, that's for their investment fund, and a separate account for their emergency fund, so that every paycheck they get, every time they get paid by their employer, or if they're self-employed, every time they get payment, a percentage of that income is going to their future, a percentage of that income is going to their emergency fund, and then whatever's left over can be used for everyday expenses and obviously enjoyment. Now, a lot of people are quite scared about the fact of losing that percentage of their income, but I always think that, you know, all of us can afford to live on a lower income. You know, as we progress through life and as our income grows, unfortunately our spending habits just seem to adjust to our new incomes. But if you think of a time in your life, you're probably earning, you know, 10-20% less than what you're earning now, so you can actually adjust your living expenses to reach that goal. And, you know, it's important for everyone to think about the percentages that work for them, but just as a rule of thumb, you know, you might like to consider that 50% of your expense of 50% of your income is going towards all of your essential costs, like your mortgage repayments or your rent, other loan repayments, food, all of your necessities. 30% of your spending might be for your personal expenses, including enjoyment, and that allows you to have 10% that you can put to an emergency fund, which is for emergencies, and 10% that you can put to an investment fund that you can put towards investing in shares, investing in property, investing in something that's going to help you have a great lifestyle in the future.
Yeah, an emergency is not wine, beer or chocolate, is it?
No, and it's not a new party dress for the party on the weekend. It is purely emergencies. So, it's really important that if you are going to do this, that you make it automatic. So, because we can get tempted to sway off of this program, but if you do make a commitment to yourself to do this, set up your different bank accounts and ask your employer to actually pay that amount into a different bank account from day one if you can. If your employer doesn't have the capacity to do that, or if you're self-employed, you can set up periodic payments on your internet banking that's automatic, so that it's something that you don't think about. It's money that just leaves the account immediately, so you'll just learn to live on less. And if you can do that, that will make a huge difference to your financial position, because you'll start having money in the bank that you can use for really important things that are going to help you and your family in the future, and you'll start feeling a lot better about your money.
Marissa, really good advice. You said that step 4, invest in your future. How do people actually do that?
Yeah, so this is probably something that is worth getting some great advice about and connecting with a team of experts that can help you. So, this is really about making sure that you're planning ahead for the future that you want. So regardless of what age you are, it's never too early to start planning for your future. And that includes thinking about things like property investment, thinking about things like shares, thinking about something that's going to, somewhere that you can put your money where that money is going to grow with a compounding effect, so that you're actually building up a little nest egg for yourself. You're building up your personal assets outside of your home, and those type of assets. You're actually building investment assets that are going to give you a passive income, so that when you do reach a point in time in your life that you do want to get close to retirement, you actually have the financial capabilities to do that. So that's about having the lifestyle that you want when you want to have that lifestyle. So, that's a great thing to meet with a mortgage broker to discuss your property investment goals, meet with a financial planner to discuss what your long-term goals are, when you want to retire, what you want to retire on, and actually starting to work towards it. The earlier you start working towards that, the more likely you are to achieve that goal, and the more likely you are to be able to retire earlier with more of a great lifestyle. So it's never too early to start planning for your investment, planning for your future.
Or too late, really, because some people have left it and they might be in their mid to late 40s or early 50s, and they start thinking about it, and they take. And I think that's where, your tip number 5, getting a money mentor. I think that I think that the power of these mentor people in our life to give us guidance is really underestimated. And when it comes to money to retire, it's an amazingly important financial step.
Absolutely, and a money mentor I think is really important for all of us. Even if you feel really confident with managing your money, just having someone there that is going to hold you accountable, and someone that you can rely on that will actually help you to achieve your goals, and just making sure that you stay on track. As I said earlier, we might have the best intentions, but it is really easy sometimes to fall off track and get distracted by other things that pop up in our life. Having a money mentor will help you to make sure that you are, really focused on what you're trying to achieve, and it's going to help you to eliminate those distractions and help keep you on track, so that hopefully by the end of the year you're exactly where you want to be, and as time goes on you've developed better money management habits that will help you not only this year but will help you in many years to come.
And did you stick to your own rules over Christmas, Marissa? Were you pretty tight this year?
Absolutely. Look, I'm a big pay yourself first sort of person. So I think that it's important to enjoy life within your means, but I think that it's really important to make sure that you are putting money aside all the time for the future and putting money aside to ensure that, you know, you not only have a great life now, but your life in the future is exactly what you want it to be. So definitely I do practice what I preach and, you know, and I think, you know, it is a great feeling once you actually, it can be a bit overwhelming making that shift, because if it's not what you're used to, it can be a bit scary. But like I said, often the scary goals are the best. Once you do make that shift and you've developed the habit to do that, it's a really you know, it's a really great feeling. It's a win-win because you actually know that you're controlling it, that you're on top of it, that you've got money saved in the bank, and that you can afford to do what you want to do, but you're also saving for your future. And it's a great feeling, and I do encourage everyone to try it out.
Well, Marissa Schultz, we love having you on the show, and it's great to know that we can enjoy ourselves and plan for our future at the same time. Really sound advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. Marissa Schultz, Director of Rise High Financial Solutions. We're going to take a really quick break now, but there's plenty more auction day coming up. Stay with us.